Hi, this is David Brow. I've been selling real estate for close to 10 years. Our team of highly trained professionals, along with our marketing plan, has sold hundreds of homes all over Fort Wayne, and this is how we do it. All right, so I'm here with Jared Kent, and he is on our team. Hey, Jared. Jared, let me ask you, you got into real estate in 2015. Is that correct? Was it
Yeah, it
2015?
was actually my first closed deal was my brother, and that was late 2014. So
2014. Okay, I remember that actually.
yeah, my
um,
son was the only reason I remember always my son was born, and that's kind
gotcha.
of the reason that pushed me into it.
Yeah, nice. So 2014, and then why did you get into real estate?
Well, I guess the sad truth of it is I didn't really like my current profession. So me and my wife sat down and we started basically almost on a nightly basis talking about what I could do as I came home, basically completely grumpy from the day's work. So it always led into that, and we kind of came up with the fact that I like people and I like homes, and then we knew you already through your wife April, so we were like, this might actually be a good thing. And during that time, we got pregnant, and we were like, okay, maybe we could use a second income or a third income coming in. So um, initially, we got into it just thinking about it as like a couple of good, nice checks here and there that would help us get rid of student loans and whatnot. And if at some point I could take it to the next level and go full time, it'd be amazing. But I already was working as an engineer and making
Mhm.
decent money there. So yeah, that's kind of basically. Eventually, we pulled the trigger, and I went to the classes and started up with you.
Nice. So, like you said, you were an engineer. So you were, I think, from up until like 2017, maybe mid
Yeah,
mid 2017. So you did your full time job was an engineer, and then you did real estate, obviously part time. But you did a lot of real estate. So tell me what that was like. Like, so what was the challenge of having to split your time between two different professions and be good at two different professions?
well, part of it was, I guess, I could say, um, I'd been in my engineering profession for a long time. I had the opportunity to become a manager there, and so I was really doling out tasks a lot to people, and so I wouldn't say that I was really doing all that great at engineering at the point. I was more focusing a lot of my day on real estate, which you know isn't the best thing in the world to be taken away from your other career. But um, at the end of the day, I started realizing pretty quickly that I was going to transition into it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's hard to kind of go back there because it was so busy and so hectic, and
I
doing two
remember.
careers is something that's probably not for everybody. And
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't for me for very long. I ended up, pushing myself too hard and going to the hospital from it. And
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, I had to make the decision one or the other, and it was a pretty easy decision.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, I didn't
Yeah.
like engineering. I did it for 15 years, and I never really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so summer 2017 is when you made the complete switch. So you
Yeah.
stopped your job at being an engineer, and then
Mhm.
you dove into real estate full time. Was that scary? How did that how did that go? I know you had two kids at that time, or oh yeah, one kid that two.
No, we had two.
You had
We
two
had
at
our
this time.
second one.
That's a pretty big shift. Like you're going,
It's a big, yeah.
completely,
So I was giving up weekly paycheck.
yeah,
You
stability.
know,
Yep.
we planned it out fairly well where we were moving. So we were basically harvesting a huge chunk of equity out of our first home
Mm-hmm.
as a money buffer, and we had paid everything off working those 2 to 3 years
Mm-hmm.
doing both. So we had paid all our debts off, we were getting a nice chunk of money and we were moving, it was still scary as anything to make me leave. But, you know, I was pretty confident, and you kind of kept telling me that it would be okay. And initially it started off a little bit slow because I had moved we had started trying to rehab our new home. So I was doing a lot of that work, and I wasn't set up really well in my office, and just nothing was really it wasn't a flow. You know, and I was used to this, you know, mandatory, you have to go in, you have to get in there at 7, and then you leave at like 6 o'clock. You have this whole day, and it's, you know, none of your choice. I've never worked on my own before, working by myself. So I had a lot of changes to make as far as that goes.
It's like a forced
it was scary.
to have a full-time job. It's like a forced discipline. So you have to go into work, just like you said. So
yes, exactly. Yeah, you got to learn that you have to come down
to
the office or into the office, whichever way you're going to do it. Mine happens to be in the basement, and you have to put in hours, and you just have to work like you would, you know, like somebody's standing there over you telling you have to work. That person just goes from being some other boss to being you, you know, yourself, which is
for sure. That's one of the biggest challenges in real estate, or a 100% commission career, is just that self-discipline. And it's hard to find. Like it's, you know,
there's times
for sure.
where, you know, definitely.
So 2018 was definitely your breakout year, but from this midsummer 2017, when you shifted into real estate full time, and then really like the beginning of 2018, you were pretty quiet. So I would hear from you from time to time. You know, you didn't have a whole bunch of deals going on or closings going on, and really it seemed like really the beginning of 2018 stuff started really happening for you. You started to get some closings under your belt. So I'd imagine during the midsummer to the end of 2017, you were building your pipeline. Is that correct? You were out there getting
initially, yeah. So initially, I wasn't building my pipeline initially.
Okay.
I didn't really understand that, and so, like I said, I was doing other stuff, you know, filling my days with stuff that wasn't necessarily work related. And so the first 3 months or so, I really wasn't building anything, which led into fall and winter where I didn't have anything. And so, you know, once I realized I needed to start building the pipeline, then it took, you know, up until I think February, where I started actually hitting my stride with the pipeline that I had built in the fall and winter.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, that's a big realization that, yeah, if you don't build that, then you're not going to have anything in 3 months.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. So, so I went back and looked up some numbers. In 2017, you closed 18 sides with a volume of 2.5 million, which, by the way, is really good for when you're working 2 jobs. Like that's pretty amazing.
Thanks. It was a good year.
Yeah. And then your average sale price was 140. And then you went from 2018, you did 35 sides. So you doubled your amount of sales. Your volume was at 6.2 million, which is awesome. Average sale price, you bumped that up to 181. So then other than the obvious fact of just having more time to focus on real estate and not having that distraction of a career that you didn't like, I know exactly what it feels like to go into work every day and not enjoy it. I mean, there's a physical cost to it. It's not fun. Yeah. So you got that out of the way. You no longer have that. You get to focus on something that you like doing or you enjoy a lot better. So what are other things, if there are other things that contributed towards your growth? Because I mean, this was a massive shift for you, going from one about doubling your business in 1 year. What are some things that you did?
Well, I think I came in to your company at a good time where our systems you started building systems, and kind of as a company, we started building systems. We got the CRM, which is a massive game changer. As an engineer, having this system with, appointments and follow-ups and checks, and I've even gotten to the point where I enter my personal life into there, and so I know what I should be doing at all times every day. I have my own daily item list, and so just having that CRM, and then we also started adding a lot more leads to the system. I think half of my sales last year were leads almost, generated through Anthony Realtors. And I mean, that's a huge kind of underlayment for, I have a pretty good sphere. My wife knows a lot of people. I have a nice family. She's got a nice family. We have a nice, she has a group of friends. I have a nice big group of friends. And I work them a lot to, not to sound like I'm working my friends, but I let them know all the time.
For sure. Yeah.
This is what I do.
Yeah.
Don't go use somebody else, obviously.
Yeah. And they love you.
So,
yeah.
And I'm big. I got a little bit bigger in my neighborhood and started to kind of farm out my neighborhood a little bit. I joined the board on my neighborhood to get that connection.
Sure.
So all that stuff combined, I think, just kind of led to more sales, more people, being more people. I just learned a lot also in that first year to start really talking to people about real estate everywhere.
Right.
So, I mean, like, one of my sales, I think my last sale that I just did was a guy that I met, at lunch, basically. He saw that I had my Anthony Realtor shirt on. He struck up a conversation to me. I didn't even have to strike it up to him. And, 6-7 months later, we got him a home. So
that's the prospecting bucket.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. Nice. It's amazing how many times just throughout your day that either people are already talking real estate because it's such an important part of people's lives, or it just comes up in a natural flow of conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
If you're wearing a logo, from your company.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing. And then the people who do take the time to stop what they're doing and just, just carry that conversation on. And sometimes it can lead to helping somebody just navigate what they're doing, or like you did, it can turn into a sale and stuff like that. So
yeah, exactly.
That's pretty amazing. So we talk a lot in our office about just having a schedule, following a morning routine, and just the importance of the discipline, being disciplined, and doing the things we always don't want to do, but those are the things that really add up and really move the needle for everybody. So describe your typical day. I know I've seen this sheet that you carry around the office, and it's intriguing. I don't totally understand it, but I know another Dave in our office. I saw him with the exact same sheet, and he loves it. So
an engineering thing, I think. And
yeah,
he really picked it up, and
he loves it. So so what's your typical day like? Do you have a morning routine?
So my day, so I run a lot by my my calendar, which is another aspect of getting me kind of into shape, is setting up a calendar with my wife, her schedule on it, our family schedule on it, my real estate schedule on there, different aspects of it, like meetings that have to be held, and then just stuff that I need to do as far as sitting down in the morning, doing our leads, running through my follow-up, with clients. And so I get up, I get the great thing every morning. I get my kids up and get them all ready and hang out with them for like an hour and breakfast with them. And then I kind of basically walk downstairs. If we don't have, some days I go into the office because we'll have meetings and stuff, but normally I'll walk downstairs, kind of get my hot stuff out of the way as far as any paperwork or any stuff that's come in the night before that I didn't have time to deal with. Move on, and then move on to my follow-up. with people, make some phone calls, try to get, in front of people a little bit, move on to after that, I move on to my hot list. I actually just go down my whole hot list of people. These are people that I'm like, these guys are going to use me. They've committed to me. I know it. And I just stay in front of them, ask them something or send them a property or look for a property for them. That takes up a good portion of the morning, really.
For sure.
Then from there, a lot of times it'll move on into appointments and whatnot that I have to go to, go meet a client for a showing and whatnot. I try to put that more into the back half of my day so that I have that morning to really crank stuff out and feel happy with the fact that I'm on top of my leads, on top of my hot people. My business is running, and then I can go show people houses and sell houses,
For sure.
after that. And then, amidst when I don't have showings and I don't have stuff in the afternoon, it's always, I keep a nice list of to-do items for my business, things that I want to do, throw out a Facebook ad. I've got a whole bunch of different little items that I need to do or that will just kind of set me one step further beyond. And so I try to work those into my calendar when I don't have any showings or anything.
Okay.
And from there, if I don't have showings at night, which obviously we all have that, but if not, then I hang out with my family all night pretty much.
Nice. Yeah. It's like you got a pretty good balance going on. That's super important.
Great.
You can't.
That's the big difference between working 7 to 6 and doing what we do is, you're working 24/7 basically. When you're not working, you're not mandatorily sitting down at some place doing nothing for hours on end.
Exactly. I think a lot of people, they get into real estate or they say that they got into real estate because they want the freedom, only to find out that then it's so overwhelming that there's no freedom because you're constantly on. So, but I think there's the freedom is in the discipline or the structure. So it sounds like you protect your mornings. Like obviously, there's closings that get scheduled. There's things we have to do as real estate agents that get scheduled. They put in that we can't avoid. We're happy to do it. But for the most part, it sounds like the mornings are pretty important to you. Getting your things done, going through the daily routine. And those are the things that are boring for people, but those are the things that help us all be successful. And really you're pretty good at that. Like we've been talking about this for a while now, and
what excites me getting everything done.
Yeah.
Then it's like, you're done. I'm a check off the box type of person.
I've noticed that. Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
I've got some boxes to check off. I'm thrilled to get those things checked off.
Yeah.
And moving forward with my day, because I know from the past year that if I check those boxes off every day, I'm going to be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you got time for your family.
My dream life is literally just to do this for the rest of my life.
Nice. Yeah.
Not have this whole, I need to, try to, retire at 55 from my engineering career that I hate.
Yeah.
I don't care if I work well into my 70s because I enjoy what I do every day.
Nice.
The big difference from perspective.
Exactly. Yep. So you are, I would say that you are a very resourceful person. So you seem to really just squeeze the juice out of really any sort of system, asset, opportunity that we've given you for sure. So you don't waste any time trying to figure out, how you can leverage a tool to help you be more efficient, help your customers better. So let's talk about the CRM for a little bit. A CRM, is a fundamental for any sales business, whether it's obviously real estate. If you're selling any sort of widget, you need a place for your database to be stored where you can set, schedules, follow-ups. You can save their birthdays, stuff like that. So I think you said before you are very involved in the CRM. Is that correct?
Yeah.
The daily thing for you.
Oh, it's amazing. I love it.
So before you had a CRM, you definitely did real estate for a couple of years before, because we implemented our CRM in like early 2017. So you definitely know what it's like to not have a CRM. So just explain the difference between not having a CRM and having a CRM. And this is for anybody, the CRM we use is one thing. You can have, there's dozens of other, and they all serve the same kind of purpose.
There's generally the same purpose. I mean, when you first started up the CRM, with our company, it kind of made me laugh because me and my dad, he's an engineer, had talked about this for years, as far as having this thing that would like allow you to set up all of your friends and family and all of that real easily in this format, so that you never had to think about when their birthdays were and all this stuff, and your car oil changes and all this cool stuff in your life. Well, then, you start this thing up and I'm like, that's exactly that, but with all your clients, and you can include all the other stuff if you want to. So before the CRM, I don't even know how. I mean, obviously I did less, and I did a lot more of just friends and family, my sphere basically, which is easy to keep track of. But even that, you miss things in your sphere that you go 6 months without talking to a friend, and then they all of a sudden, you reconnect, and they're like, yeah, me and the wife just bought a home, it's great, we love it, and you're like,
that hurts. Yeah. If I just
and you're like, it's my fault. Like I haven't talked to the friend of mine, and first of all, I'm being a lousy friend. I haven't reached out to him in 6 months.
Yeah.
It does actually help. I think it helps your friendships and your relationships with your family, because I have everyone in there, and it just keeps me honest in the fact that, I need to reach out to some of these people.
Yep.
Me and my friends, there's a large group of us, and we get together multiple times a year with some big events that we do that kind of keeps us close. But at the same time, like there's 3-4 months in between each one of those. And, and then there's family members that you end up not talking to for 5 years if you didn't have a reminder sitting there. So, honestly, before the CRM is just, it's life changing as far as, if you didn't have one, you couldn't do probably, I would say I have a pretty big sphere for a normal person. You probably couldn't do more than what I did my last year when I was doing both jobs.
Right.
60,000 in total commission.
Right.
I don't see a way to do it.
No, it allows you to scale. Yeah.
And so once you get rolling with the CRM, and you start, if it doesn't come naturally to you, that's, for me, it comes naturally just looking at a system and trying to move forward with the easiest solution to make this system work for me. And I know with you guys, with our assistant Kelsey and you look at things that way too, where you're always setting up the systems ahead of time. So like a CRM is not going to work if you don't set it up.
Correct.
Thing is anything, garbage in, garbage out,
Yep.
So, but if you take the time up front to set something up like that, then it just changes your whole world. It's amazing.
At that point, all you had to do was just,
you guys setting up some of these follow-up systems and all that. It's huge, I think, for everybody in the company.
Appreciate that. Yeah. So for everybody out there listening, like definitely, no matter what, even if your CRM just starts out with an Excel spreadsheet, the most basic form, but there's, just Google it or ask us, some different ones. But if you're an agent does not have a CRM, your company does not provide one for you, I think Jared and I both, would say definitely 100% get set up in a CRM and get going out. There's YouTube videos, there's everything. So that's a fundamental for.
I'm sure there's free ones and stuff that
Oh
are
yeah.
robust, but you
Yeah,
got to have something. I
for
mean,
sure.
even forget about being an agent, just being a person these days with everything you got to do. It's
Yep.
like, my
Mm-hmm.
gosh, I couldn't go back to living my personal life without one,
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah. That's great. Um, so you do a lot of business, like we talked about with your sphere. Your sphere, they love you. It's quite clear. I was just sitting in the same room as Kelsey, and Kelsey called one of your most recent closings yesterday, and she was. It was the phone call where she just asked, just feedback from how we did, and if we didn't do
Yeah.
a good job, we want to know where did we miss the mark, how do we drop the ball so that we can be better. And it just so happened this person was an overwhelming 10 out of 10, and she just loved it. And it was just listening to the conversation just made me smile because I
Yeah.
could tell that this person just gave you a glowing review. So good job. That's awesome. Every time I get hear one of your clients and see one of the reviews they give you, it just puts a smile on my face because I know it's genuine, and I know that they wouldn't be doing that if they really didn't feel that way about you. So that's
And that is
awesome.
really, that's the best part of, doing this
Yeah,
is the fact that, yeah, you can actually make something that is the scariest thing in someone's life, basically,
for sure.
into this really fun, cool experience
Mm-hmm.
where they're not afraid the whole time at all because you've explained it all. You're right there by their side and
Mm-hmm.
make it into this thing that they get done and they're absolutely thrilled. And I just
Mm-hmm.
love that. That's the
Yeah.
funnest thing.
Awesome, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. Um, so you've got your sphere, your referral bucket, as we call it, our system. You've got that working really, really well for you, and I think we covered that probably enough for somebody to understand. You put in CRM, you're reaching out to these people not only because you have to, because you're CRM, but because you want to. You generally care about what's going on in their life. You're staying in front of them. You're providing value. You're giving them market reports, updates on their home's value. You're constantly connecting with people. We also have another bucket or another source of business that is provided to you is the leads that we give you, and you're converting pretty well with these leads. And not only are you converting with the leads, but you're taking these leads, and even if they might not buy or sell with you, they are giving you referrals. So, tell me what you are doing to convert these leads. Is it you're just following the system? Are you doing things in addition to kind of the follow-up workflows that we have set up? Or is it just simply you're getting lucky, which I don't think it is? Or what are you doing? What are you doing that is leading to this success?
It's a good question. First of all, I follow the system like religiously, which is needed because you got to get your foot in the door with people.
Right.
And we're in the Midwest. I mean, people in the Midwest they're friendly. They want to wave at each other. I mean,
Right.
you're walking down the street, people wave. People are generally a pretty friendly group in the Midwest compared to a lot of other parts of the country, and genuine, and I feel like I just go and I just talk to people genuinely when I talk to them. I read I read through scripts and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
just to try to get myself to think different ways, but I really try not to be too scripted
Yeah.
because you know um, that comes through. I think if you try to be too scripted, if
Yeah.
you try to make it something where you're literally just reading the line. I mean, everyone knows the phone call that they've gotten where it's
Mm-hmm. The
somebody
person.
literally reading,
Right.
and you can tell that they're reading, and it doesn't work
Mm-hmm.
out, as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one aspect. And then, when you get in front of people, I try to kind of get into their personal life a little bit and let them get into mine. I think a big thing with building trust with people is not so much showing all of your good qualities, it's showing some of your bad qualities.
That's a
You
good
know,
point. Yeah.
they want to know that you're a human being. They
Mm-hmm.
want to know, that your kids make you tired and they're not like
Mm-hmm.
always the best thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know that you love your kids, but they also exhaust you like crazy. I mean, they just want to know that you're a person,
Mm-hmm.
make a connection with them. Um, then you start getting invited to barbecues and yeah. So I think generally, in especially in our environment right now, where a lot of people try to think that everyone's so divided out there,
Yeah.
and it's really not true.
Yeah.
I mean, if you talk to anyone face to face, people aren't really that divided.
Mm-hmm.
People, it's just being made into that. Everyone really wants basically the same thing. They want their family to be, healthy and happy,
Mm-hmm.
and they want to basically spend time around them, around their
Mm-hmm.
family and friends. They really just want, love around them, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what everyone kind of wants, and they don't want, difficulties in their life. So
Mm-hmm.
you just kind of go at it from that angle. And I really don't think you can lose as far as talking to people.
Nice.
You know?
That's a. I'm taking notes. That's very it's very nice, Jared. I like that a lot. People, you're right. People they just want their family to be healthy. Just want to be
Yeah.
happy. They want a nice home to live in.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
we're
if you think exactly, they want a home that they can be happy and proud of
nice.
and raise their family in, or, have their family over. If they're older and their family's moved out, they want a place they can have them over. I
Yeah.
mean, really, the things that you want is the thing that everyone wants, is the way I look at it.
Yep.
Mostly.
Yep. Um, so about 6 months ago, we changed from, we've been talking about for a while how we were going to really shift our company from a bunch of solo agents, like a typical traditional brokerage is set up, to more of a hybrid brokerage where it's a team. So we work as a team. We share the same resources, and at that point, we made this shift of that we were going to have one transaction coordinator managing everybody's transactions. For the last like 5 years, I've had my own personal transaction coordinator. So obviously I can speak to like the effectiveness of that because I used it, that person. So tell me, was it a game changer when you switched from managing your own transactions to having that person doing the bulk of the transaction coordinating?
Yeah. So, gosh, it was that long ago. It seems like it was like yesterday, but
Yeah, I
um,
think it was like October. Well,
it
yeah,
was.
5 months ago. Yeah,
Yeah, about, I guess we
four
made
months
the
ago.
official switch in October.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't quite 6 months.
Almost 6 months.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I just happened upon the right week where I sold 7 homes
I
under
actually
contract.
remember. Yeah, that was.
First week that we started that whole thing,
Yeah.
and um, yeah, like there's no way I could have managed that. That was, I would have had to, I don't know, either pull all my hair out, what's left of it, or hire my wife. I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, like I couldn't have done it.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that the very first week that we started that, I put 7 under contract, and I was like, this is amazing. Like I can, instead of managing 7 transactions for the next month and doing nothing else, I can actually just keep looking for, prospects, and
Mm-hmm.
keep going out and doing appointments with people and keep calling people and keep doing what I'm good at,
Mm-hmm.
um, while everything's done on the back end. And
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's, yeah, I mean, I don't know which one is a bigger game changer, the CRM or the transaction manager, but both of them are definitely huge as far as just, in our world, the better you get at one thing is more important than being a jack of all trades.
Right.
It just is. That's how our world is evolved.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I also think it brings everybody together more as a team.
Mm-hmm.
We're more Anthony Realtors, we're more, we take pride in our company rather than kind of just, well, yeah, this is my broker, but I'm over here doing my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that helps out a lot too. A lot of positive attitude goes into that.
Nice.
Team, everybody likes a team.
Yeah.
I think somewhat this industry could get kind of lonely if you let it. If you're just out there on your own, doing your own thing. But having that team base helps out a lot to be able to meet once a week, know that we're all on the same page, know that we're all running our transactions the same.
Yeah.
And if I would refer somebody to one of our other agents, I know it's going to be handled the same.
Right.
So it doesn't concern me if I get to the point where I need to refer people. I know it's the same, they're going to get the same quality.
Yeah. And that's very important when you're referring somebody, that consistency.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
for sure.
Cool, man. So this year you've got a big, bold goal, and there's not one shadow of doubt in me that I think you'll get there. In fact, probably surpass it pretty well. But your goal is to sell 10 million in volume this year. Last year, I think we said we did like 6.2 or something.
Yeah.
So are you going to do anything differently? We're the third week into January, so the year's just new, January 2019. Are you gonna continue doing what you're doing? Is kind of build on that momentum? What do you have in store? What's Jared Kent have in store for 2019 to get to this 10 million goal?
Well, a couple of things I want to start working on a little bit differently. Aside from actually starting my year off strong because I was prospecting.
Yeah, you've got a nice pipeline right now. I was just looking. You're
there's a lot.
Off to a great start.
A few aspects that I want to start digging into a little bit deeper. Number one is starting to canvas some certain neighborhoods and just prospect some certain neighborhoods as far as a lot of my hot list, a lot of my they're all looking in the same certain areas. It just has happened that way. So if I can dig up a few people willing to sell, then I can help my buyers out a little bit more. Aside from just sitting there and waiting and hoping and crossing my fingers as much as they're crossing theirs that something comes up.
Yeah.
That's something I'm going to dive into a little bit more, and I'll have the time to do that now that I'm not managing all these transactions, and my CRM is set up good, and I have a lot of time in the afternoon once I've churned through all the work that I need to do deeper work like that. And then I'd like to get a little bit more forward thinking in my prospecting. So working either expires a little bit more, which I think is probably the side that I'd like to go. Maybe delve into a little bit of for sale by owners, and do a little bit more with the open houses too. I've done last year. I think I did 12 to 15 open houses, something like that. I'd like to do just a little bit more there. I tend to get a lot of prospects out of open houses.
Yeah, open houses are great.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just automatically in front of people,
right?
It's the best thing in the world, and sometimes you'll get 5 real true prospects out of it, and sometimes you get 0 because they all have other agents, but at least you're getting your face in front of them.
For sure.
If they happen to get let down by somebody, then they've got a place to come. Working all those 3 things with my added free time that I've got now.
Yeah.
Is I'm hoping to make that my next step as far as adding to my pipeline and
Nice.
getting to that 10 or maybe 12 million. We'll see.
I think you'll crush 10, man. Last year I can't remember what the goal we set for you, but I remember Kelsey and I in like July were like, he's already beat this by like 30%. So we changed. I think a couple times we
like
upped your goal. Yeah. You're crushing it. So we were like, all right, we got to move this up to pushing because he's going to get too comfortable.
I know, sitting in the meeting every time. Well, you need -2 houses.
Yeah. Keep bumping that up. So that's awesome, man. So I'm out of questions for you. Jared, I really, really, really appreciate your time. I know you're busy. I know this is probably taken away from some other very important thing that you had scheduled.
No, I got up early. I got up early to get most of that stuff done.
Nice. Well, I really appreciate it, man. And maybe we can do this again. Maybe later this year, or at the very minimum a year from now. We can talk about how your 2019 went, and we're looking forward to our work party on Saturday.
Yeah, really.
It's gonna be a good time. But have a good rest of your day, man. And any parting thoughts? You don't have to. I don't want to put you on the spot, but anything for any new agent out there that's watching this that you any advice or wisdom?
I love our company, and
love having you.
It's great. The way you guys are so forward thinking, and to an engineer, that's the best thing in the world. Just developing systems and creating this constant movement forward. And I would say to any agent thinking about becoming, or any person thinking about becoming an agent, or any new agent out there, really look into your company that you're going to be joining up with, and think through the systems, and whatnot a little bit before just jumping on board. I could definitely see myself not working out in most companies. Honestly, I don't feel there would be a good fit with most companies with me. So, some companies aren't going to give you the support and the forward thinking and some of that stuff. And it's just more, you can't look at it as a bottom line type of figure. Everyone has a different level of money that they're giving you or not giving you, or split commission. And then once you get to this point, then you get 100% and whatnot. But there's some things that are more important than that. Having a transaction manager, I don't have to hire someone. I mean, I can't imagine the stress of having to hire somebody with 2 kids. We have a nanny who comes in, early childhood person who comes in and teaches our kids every day. So I have someone hired. To hire like one more. It just starts draining your money pretty quickly if you think of it as a whole. So I think that's a big aspect that people should probably look a little bit deeper into when they first start, because you could be out of this industry in a matter of 6 months.
Burn through your savings.
Really hit the ground running. I was lucky enough to have 3 years to get used to things. Earning a paycheck. Most people aren't that lucky. So I guess that'd be my parting thoughts. And I'm looking forward to the party too.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome. Good time. So, all right, Jared. Well, we'll wrap this up and have a good day, and we'll see you in a few days.
All right, man. Talk to you.
Yep. Bye.